One morning, I can't even remember what day it was, but it was a weekday. I was sweeping my father's house as usual. And that was when I heard I needed to build a business for social enterprises. I was praying so much because of what I heard. And there and there, I started to hear the voices of women crying. So you were security for a while, and then you launch, and then suddenly you start to get expansion. Yes, I don't think there's anybody else that could have given you that, thank God. To me, I say that being misunderstood is actually a gift because it helps me press into God who sees everything. In the eyes of everybody else, people are saying you're progressing, but you and God know that something is off. Oh, yes. What advice would you give to a change maker that has so many community projects and they don't even know where to begin? I believe that we exist to create it. We exist to make a change. And God calls us light and salt. So salt changes everything. Light shapes darkness. If you do everything, you will get nothing. Does God want to save Africa? God is not just the God of the heavens. He is the God of nations. So when that settles in, you already have it.
Hi, change makers. My name is Vera Alex, and welcome to the Vera Alex Show. This show is a brainchild of Vera Alex Coaching Company, a faith-based company that is focused on wholeness, wealth building, social impact, productivity, and discipleship. And today we're focused on social impact aspect of it. Today with me is Tolulope of Mwazu. How do I say it? Am I right? Of Mwazu. Thank you. Yes, of Mwazu. She's going to talk more about it. Welcome. Thank you so much. It is lovely having you here.
And it's so good to see you again.
Yeah, after nearly a decade. Yes, it's almost 10 years since we set up. So really lovely to see. Like as soon as I said, I was like, just take a look. Yeah, we've both grown, and it's beautiful to see. So the first thing you're going to do for me is introduce yourself to.
Cool.
So, what's your full name now? That's important.
So I was going to start with Soapy Girls.
No. What's your full name now? There was the before name, then there's the after name. So talk to me.
So now that I'm living in my fully married version, my name's Tolulope.
Okay.
Makinwa.
Okay. So you're maintaining those.
Yes, I'm maintaining the Makinwa then Adeni. So it's going to be a compound.
Okay, so Makinwa Adeni.
Yes, this. Okay, so this is a compound surname. So Tolulope Makinwa Adeni. I am many things.
Okay.
But in this season, I am an ecosystem builder.
Okay.
So what am I doing now? I am working with Africa's social enterprise ecosystems to build markets, create opportunities, and to reduce reliance on donor funding. That's where I am right now.
That is awesome. Reduce reliance on donor funding. What? Why? What's the picture? Why did you decide to do that?
Okay, so I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of donor funding.
I understand.
Yeah, I'm also not a fan. I don't like having to depend on people. And I'm saying that depending on people for a while is fine. But it gets to a point where you should be able to stand by yourself, right? So why did you decide to add that to your vision? What do you see?
Okay, so I have a vision for Africa.
Okay.
That doing good should not be sustained by charity or donor funding.
Yes.
Or aid. But it should be rewarded profitably through market-driven solutions. So that means we do not have to prioritize profits over purpose. The both can go hand in hand, and businesses can be a force for good. So I was thinking, how frequently do we have to give up on impactful ideas because we do not have the financial wherewithal? And so that simply means having to think about creating sustainable revenue strategies for your businesses. In that, with or without aid, with or without grants, you are still moving on. impact is not stopping. So that's how we came up with the idea. That's how we came up with the vision. And it stems from where I am coming from. I worked as a director of policy and partnerships for an international nonprofit organization.
Okay.
That focused on delivering interventions for children and also introducing safeguarding policies for children in schools, particularly rural communities in Lagos. The first day of work, it was interesting. Brilliant idea. You're trying to solve a big problem, trying to get children who are out of school back to school, trying to also ensure that there are policies that safeguard these children from harm, from abuse. And we started. Very bold idea, very immersive and highly fulfilling. So we started to lay out projects upon projects. But it got to a point that we had to stop. We had to reduce our project's implementation. Why? Because of the issue of funding. And so I saw firsthand impactful ideas slip through our hands because of donor funding, waiting for grants not coming. And it was frustrating. And after 6 months, I had to resign. I resigned not out of frustration, but a need to do something. A need to research that there has to be a way here for us to create something in bit-sized solutions that can be sold at a price. And so that profit can be reinvested.
Yes.
And so we do not have to look for. Rather, we have to take from what we already have to pursue a project, to implement a project, to help children go back to schools, to implement safeguarding policies and all of those things. And that was it. So in 2022, I remember very vividly.
Yes.
I was in my father's house.
Hold on, before you get to that. So because of how I'm excited, this is I think one of my major aspects of what we do in VACC is social impact. And I'm usually extremely excited when I hear people talk about community impact, especially when they're Christians. It's faith-based for us in VACC. And so when I talk when I talk to Christians that had one or two encounters with the Lord, based off their burdens, because there's one thing to have a burden and there's one thing for the Lord to say, I'm sending you out. Right? So now you're about to talk about how you got the vision. Right? So I needed to put that introduction there that this was a vision that was given to you by God. So what happened?
In 2020, yes. Okay. The craziest year Lils had. Yes. I was living in Abuja at the time. I'm sure that you're aware. Yeah. This period where it's off and on. I was in Abuja at the time. I was working for one of the biggest broadcast media company in Nigeria. And I was recently promoted to people operations analyst. And all of a sudden, I started to feel very uneasy. I knew that there has to be something more. I knew that there was something about my life that was not confined to the space where I was. So I had to break out. But I didn't know how. Because that job gave me stability. I know that at some point in the month, I will get alerts. And I was living well. I was living very well. And up until some time around, I went for leave and then I returned. And then I told my boss at the time, my line manager, I said, Ms. Bumi at the time. I said, Ms. Bumi, I want to resign. And she felt like I was joking. I just said, why? You've just been recently promoted. I said, yes. I am not satisfied. There is something calling for more inside of you. I couldn't express it in words, but I just knew if I resigned and I took time to seek the face of God, I would find clarity. And so I tendered my resignation. she was still surprised. So she was like, Tolu, do you want to withdraw this resignation? I said, no. And I resigned and I returned to Lagos. That was the most quiet season of my life.
I know the definition of quiet. I had 4 years. Silence.
It felt like I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes. Nobody knows you. Nobody's calling you. No speaking engagement. No, nothing. Nobody's paying you. Nothing. Literally nothing. But you see, those are the best seasons.
I didn't see it as that. I didn't have my perspective.
But then that's the best season in God's eyes. God's like...
So I returned to Lagos and I immediately took up another job.
I mean, you didn't sustain yourself. Financial support.
But the good thing is, my parents are not even burdening me to get something done. My parents are like, whenever it's time, you will get things done. We know you're not lazy. So whenever it's time, you will get something done. So just take your time. In fact, my mom was the happiest. There's someone to help out with the chores, cooking, and all of those things. But immediately, I looked for another job. And I got the job, Director of Policy and Partnerships. And the very first day, I was to relocate from my house to the office because the office has like a residential area for staff. It was my mom that dropped me. She dropped me at the ferry point. So I took a ferry from Ikorodu, ferry point to Lekki. And I was there, sitting in my new house. Right? This is the office. This is my house. They gave me a house, a car. And I felt like, yes, so this is it. However, there was still something saying this is not it. But to me, it was it because sustainability is important. It's a purpose. And so we started. Well, started to put all the documents together, started to read, started to research, started to get acquainted with the systems and the structure in that office. And that was when I realized that I like the idea of interventions, delivering interventions. I like the idea of social impact, but I do not like the idea of having to look for the funds to sustain social interventions and social impact. It was frustrating. And that was it. So I went back to God. I said, God, you gave me this job. I'm God was it. And that's like there was a God. I felt like there was a time God said, do you think I give you this job? You were in my will, but it was not in my perfect will. There's a good, there's acceptable, there's perfect. This was just like, sharp grey.
Let's understand you. Let's show us.
And for some reasons, my time in that position was fulfilling, to be honest with you. But it was not so satisfying because I knew that there was something more. And within 6 months, I had to resign. It was very tough for my newly found employers. In fact, it came with a lot. It came with threats. It came with threats to life. It came with threats to life. It came with a lot of things, a lot of, people not, some employers not graciously accepting that your staff can resign. So allow them just go. So it felt like, oh, you came in, we thought that you were going to revive the whole system. Now you're leaving, we'll make your life hell. It was a long thing. So I resigned. I went back to my house. And here I was back to square one. Guess what I was doing? Waking up, cleaning the house, reading as though I had an exam. I'm praying like my life depended on it.
Because he did.
He did.
Yeah, but you didn't see it like
But I don't see it like that.
Felt like maybe something was wrong with you.
Yes. I was praying from a place of desperation. I wasn't praying from a place of clarity of purpose. It was more of, God, I left Abuja, I went to Lekki, I'm back to Ikorodu. Wow, what kind of, what's going on? Progress? Is this an advancement? That was it for me, in that season. But guess what? God was silent. It was, this I will tell you, he's usually very silent. But you see, I didn't stop. I did not stop. So what I did then was I called it my obscurity season. I said, you know what? It feels like I'm in a state of obscurity.
You do feel like everybody else were moving on. Oh, yeah. You come on social media and scroll, yeah, like, wow, congratulations. Yes, and here you are, and GP what?
Because I am not used to stillness. I am always moving from one thing to the other. Yes, I was working a paid job, but I also had my thing going on. I had a business. I had TMI at the time. Tolulope Initiative for.
Yes, I remember.
I had TMI at the time. We're running projects over projects. I just got back from Ghana. I was going to another place. So I was not, I can't explain how to stay still. All right. So it was a tough season. I wanted to do something.
How many months?
It was a lot. It was a lot, at least up to 6 months. I was in a state of obscurity for almost 6 months to a year. But guess what? I didn't stop. Because it was only God that could save me. And I started to pray. Prayed like my life depended on it. And I started reading like I had an exam. You know what I was doing? I told every member of my family that cared to listen to me. I said, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., I'm going to be in my office. Which office is this? This time I found out house. So I had a plastic chair and a plastic table. Every 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., I would sit down there with my laptop. I'll just research. How can I make funding better for social impact businesses? You know, I would read, research, take courses. I was doing that realistically, and guess what? I told my dad that he should please give me 8,000 naira to print my complimentary card from a place of obscurity. Don't forget that. And my dad did graciously. He gave the printer 8,000 naira, printed my complimentary card and my little ID card, and I will wear that every day to resume to my table. Nobody knew anything about me at that time. Nobody knew where I was because I was on a lockdown. Personally, I was on a lockdown.
No, it was God that put you on a compo lockdown. If it was left to you, you'd have jumped out.
Guess what? I still have a picture where I was in my house, like my father's computer. I took a break from reading, and I have clipped my ID card somewhere here. Tolulope Makinwa company. And I put social impact fixer, something like that. I put it there, and I was just there, and I took a picture. I didn't know what I was doing was I was envisioning what God had in store for me, but it was not clear to me.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't clear. Right? And that was how I started. Then one morning, I can't even remember what day it was, but it was a weekday. I was sweeping my father's house as usual. And that was when I heard, get yourself ready. You're going to take your MBA because I need you to build a business for social enterprises. I've never heard about social enterprises before. And God telling me I had to take an MBA. Why? I used to think, yes, I'm intelligent. I am brilliant, yes. But you see, when it comes to academics and all that, let it end with my first degree.
Let it end. I will not do an MBA. Dear Lord, I can read all the books you want me to do.
Let it end with my first degree, and God is telling me, go and take your MBA. I'm not good at mathematics, and I've heard that MBA is quasi-mathematics.
Yeah.
Anyways, how was God going to fund this thing? I didn't know how to. If I had a business, if I was still in my paid job, it would have just been an easy break.
Yeah.
1, 2 salaries, 3 salaries, 4 salaries. I've made up all the payment for the session. But yeah, I was. And God saying, I was sweeping and I heard, and the name shall be Muazu Africa. So what does that even mean? So after sweeping and cleaning, I went back to the room, back to my office, quote and unquote, my plastic chair and table. And yeah, I was praying. I was praying so much because of what I heard. And there and then, I started to hear the voices of women crying. And in my head, I was thinking, God is telling me that I should build a business for social enterprises. And now I'm hearing women crying. What's the relation? And then I still kept praying. And then God told me, these are the people that should receive the impact the impact of different social interventions. But they're not getting it because those who are to who are to deliver these interventions, they are frustrated because of funding. So I am concerned about the last mile. The last mile are these women, are these children, are these men that are in need of your social interventions. And that was it. So I started to study about social enterprises. So God gave me a direction. And that was how I started. Started to read, started to pray. I started to figure out how I could introduce this into the marketplace. Then, when God was tired of me, basically, God being tired of me, please, it's not like, some people say, I know God can never be tired. I understand. But me and my God, we have like a relationship. So when I say God being tired of me, it's like, your God say, talking about it. You know what, Tolu? Oh yeah, go and do something. Go. Just go. March 8, 2022. I left 2020. Came back to Lagos 2020. So from 2020 to 2022, there was that gap. March 8, 2022, we launched Moazu Africa as a company, a charity. I think I saw the video. That was the first one that you as a company. So I gathered a lot of people, want to do this from different sectors, philanthropic organizations, private, public sector. Everybody come together. We launched March 8. From March to August, we started expanding. Started getting calls, please come to Rwanda, please come to Ghana, we can work with you. And that was how we started to expand till today. So the journey has been one of faith, audacity, and a little bit of delusion. Yes, delusion is only so. And a little bit of delusion. So yeah, that's been the journey so far. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, so you were in obscurity for a while, and then you launch, and then suddenly you start to get expansion. Yes. I don't think there's anything else or anybody else that could have given you that than God. I don't think that. Do you understand? So, what's coming to my mind is change makers are currently struggling. Many people wanting to do social impact projects. And sorry, I think through, because you just gave me a whole, and I'm thinking, this is amazing. Do you feel like change makers don't wait? Faith-based Christian change makers, do you feel like a lot of reasons why we have issues maybe with launching, always continuing? Many people launch, but they don't continue. Why do you think that might be? Most times it's funding, or apart from funding, two things. Based off my experience and based off the experiences I've had speaking with people, particularly chain makers. It's not just funding. See, we have ideas. So many ideas. Brilliant ideas. Innovative ideas. But you see, the weight of loneliness and the burden of being misunderstood, those two, it can discontinue our vision. Yeah.
Have you been looking to join a community of kingdom change makers that are achieving much with less stress, building wealth together, bringing change to their communities, healing from childhood and adulthood trauma? This is the community for you. BCC is a faith-based community that is focused on wholeness, wealth building, social impact, discipleship, and productivity. If you are interested in any of this, then send a message to the link in the description below. See you there.
a vision that should be, or an idea that should be among the most investable. Because you're not understanding me. Maybe I don't even get myself. Let me just back it up. And then there's a part of loneliness. The journey can be indeed lonely.
It is a lonely journey.
It can be very, very lonely. It can look like everybody you're speaking to, everyone that you think can move the needle, they are missing it. And so sometimes you are waiting for the optimism from your stakeholders. But what you get is that can be quite discouraging. And so a number of change makers are not able to bear the weight of loneliness and the burden of being misunderstood. To me, I say that being misunderstood is actually a gift, because it helps me press into God who sees every.
God that gave me the vision.
So God who gave me the vision, I need to press, I need to go back to Him for every detail.
Yeah.
But you see,
Hold on. Does that make you closer to the Lord?
yes, it does. How? You see, I have come to observe a pattern in my work. The moment I get distracted, maybe distracted by projects, distracted by trying to have services, products I can sell, strategies and all of that, I get distracted in the sense that I am not praying as I should, I'm not fellowshipping as I should, or I don't even love His presence, or the zeal of His presence is no longer there. Things become very bleaky for me. Quote and unquote, let me use our local parlance in Nigeria. I know they see road. I will just be doing things. And I just feel in my heart that the peace of God is not with me in this thing. It is a business, yes, but business is spiritual. So the peace of God is not in this name. It forces me to go back. It forces me to go on my knees and raise my hands and worship. Because this business is a gift. It came from me. And I have to take it back to Him. So yes, that's the answer to your question. Whenever I am distracted, carried away with what God has given to me, and one of the things I'm very careful. I am very careful of idols. There was a time where Africa became an idol a lot. I was worshipping what?
Especially because it was doing well.
Yes.
And then it was getting the traction. For a business that wasn't up to 1 year old,
You were already traveling for years. We're getting invited by, I spoke with the governor. I don't know if you saw that, that blew up. I saw it online. Speaking with governors, being invited by government to different countries. It forced me to think that I knew it all. So I didn't need God to do anything. No, I didn't need the guy.
But only because the Lord already made you read and study.
Oh, yes.
So it's like your eyes were already open to like the dynamics of the industry.
Oh, yes.
So it's like, what exactly am I supposed to be talking to God about? And that's exactly where we usually miss it. Like, I'm saying that in the eyes of everybody else, people are saying you're progressing, but you and God know that something is off.
Oh, yes. And guess what? Today, before coming here, this was me. I had a major event last week. We hosted Deep Prize, co-hosted Deep Prize. And if you're in the social impact space, you would know that Deep Prize is one of the funding organizations. So they fund social impact projects or social ventures that deliver services, solutions to address poverty at the last mile. And so they can give up to $20,000. So we hosted them, came in from the USA. It was a very big deal last week. My team members were like, yay, this is such a big deal for West Africa. I has put us on a global wherever. That was good. But I felt very empty. On Wednesday, October 1, we had a gathering of impact ecosystem leaders, from CEOs of MTN Foundation to Deep Eyes. A lot of us came together. Not just ordinary people, active key stakeholders in the industry. After everybody had left, oh, Tolu, this is amazing. This is such a brilliant.
It was your company that brought.
Oh yeah, that, yes. This is such a brilliant innovation. Oh, Tolu, was Africa this, was Africa that. And I got home. And I sat down. And I don't know, the tears just started reading from my eyes. Because there was this emptiness. And I wondered where. Until this morning, where I sought the face of the Lord, I said, God, I am here. I'm coming here today. And I'm coming to speak. I don't take speaking lightly. I don't even honor a number of speaking invitations. Yes. Because speaking to me is a spiritual exchange.
Yeah.
Words are spirit and their life.
Yeah.
And so here I was going back to God and asking, God, I feel very empty. I feel this way. I need you to help me. And God then shows me Hebrews 12:13. We come to Him, we raise our tired hands. Tired, quote unquote. So the Bible acknowledges that sometimes hands can be tired. You can be tired. Sometimes you can be weary. But do not let your hands go down in prayers and in worship. And this knees, though they be feeble, but it will be strengthened. And there I was. That was the light bulb that I needed. I started to pray, praise, worship. And I had the courage to come here. To be honest with you, if I didn't feel any better, I would have sent you a message to say I'm sorry. But something happened and I can't honor. Can we fix another day? That's why. Right? So yeah.
So the question I actually have now is, there's too much happening in my world space right now, and I think that was really beautiful. By the way, I needed to acknowledge that it's possible that I don't just want to jump to the next question. It's possible that you close the gap with the source and the gift.
Oh yes.
So that you can function in the gift, or you can steward the gift right better for the source. So that was necessary because I do believe that it's God that gave you the gift, even of the people that you had, the gathering that you had.
Yes. I mean, it was a holiday and it was rainy. And yet, I had so many people coming together. So many.
And no. I don't think you should even look at like so many people, so many important people.
Oh, yes.
Coming together. So I feel like that's the Lord telling you that I'm here, but then your heart needs to connect. It's like I'm still the one moving the needle here in this organization. However, you and I need to sit down and talk. You and I need to actually have a conversation. So, I mean, I love faith-based change makers. It makes me see that you can do impacts with the Lord.
Oh, yeah.
You can do impacts. In fact, you do bigger impacts with the Lord. Yeah. So, now, what advice would you give to a change maker that has so many community projects? And I don't even know where to begin. Like, so many change projects. Where do I start from?
Okay, so you know I'm laughing.
What?
I used to be that person that wants to solve the issue of quality education, gender equality, climate change. Tell me, a lot. In fact, the total 17 SDG, I saw myself playing in all of the SDGs.
Partnerships.
Oh, yes. And then I had to say to myself that if I chase everything, I will lose it. And it is important that I clarify exactly what my vision is. And I communicate that in that people that see it will easily run with me. But when you're doing everything, who wants to run with you? Because people are even confused. And love language, clarity is a love language in the space. Clear communication is a love language. I say it all the time.
Simple, clear.
You have to keep it simple and short. Anything that exceeds one sentence, it's already a burden. I trust in me. I tell my team members, if it exceeds a very simple, short sentence, you're already burdening me.
Yeah.
Keep it as simple as possible. So what
I
did I
like
do?
the No, I love simplicity.
And we always say it. In fact, I'm going to put it somewhere, because I have a home office now.
Yeah.
I mean, motherhood has made me
No more plastic tablets, no more plastic. But it usually starts with plastic table and chair. I don't notice.
So I'm going to put it somewhere in my office, my oak office. Clarity is a love language.
It is.
So in this situation, I used to be that girl running after this, running after that, because I believe that we exist to create impact. We exist to make a change. And God calls us light and salt. So salt changes everything. Light shapes darkness. But we can't be doing everything. So I had to pick one thing that burdened me the most. And that which burdened me the most was that doing good should not be sustained by just donor funding, but be rewarded profitably through market-driven solutions. And I faced that squarely. And other dreams that I had, other ideas that I had, somehow found a way to settle. And some found a way to just ebb away like that. And I know that
I love it.
I love it so much. I will catch up. Or those dreams, those ideas will somehow catch up later. But for now, I am thinking like what burdens me the most. And I'm clearly communicating that. So it is easy for those who want to work with me to align. So my advice to any change maker who is trying to do everything, if you do everything, you will get nothing. Doing everything, you will lose everything. So do not do everything. What burdens you the most? And where can your energy? Because energy is very important. Where can your energy find a place that will not be considered as too much? So you're looking for a place where you settle in as you. All right. So that's my advice.
So that's the major thing.
That's the major thing.
Pick the one that would have more of your energy, that has more of your burden,
Important.
and then clarify, important.
You have to clarify.
I mean, we were talking about this even like off camera, that's like the lazy thing. It's not like for change makers, it's usually not laziness. It's like the more simple it is, the more easy, the more light we are, the more easy it is for us to impact.
I used to say that there are no lazy change makers.
No.
We only have change makers who are selective of where their energy flows to.
And guess what? They're the ones that impact the most.
That's the point. So if my energy flows towards quality education, if you bring interventions like climate change, water, life in the sea, my energy will not, I will be lazy intellectually,
that will be.
and you would see me and judge me by that. So the question should be, where do you naturally tilt towards, lean towards? If you find that, you've won in life as a change maker.
I love it. So this is my final question to you. Does God want to save Africa through Christians? Do you think God is interested in saving Africa through believers? And I'm not saying that non-believers are not doing the most, but I know God wants to, but like, what do you think? God, the continent, saving, bringing solutions to like continental and national issues, right? Is that God's plan? And doesn't want to use Christians to do it?
This question is one that demands a deep breath. God is not just the God of the heavens.
Yes.
He is the God of nations. So when that settles in, you already have the answer. God is not the God of heavens. He is the God of nations. And we can see it in the story of the Israelites. He formed tribes, government, economy, community living. Yes, God is interested with believers changing the world. But we are all not the same, and we cannot do it the same way. Some people can be called to the fourth sector, where you have the NGOs, the social enterprises, the philanthropic institutions, foundations, self-help groups, associations, cooperative societies, literally community-based organizations. But you see, it's not everybody that will start a movement. It is not everybody that will start an NGO.
Yes.
I know of someone who has a PhD, but she has dedicated a Saturday to educating female artisans on financial literacy. She doesn't have a foundation. She doesn't even have a movement.
I love it.
She's just a PhD who wants to do this every Saturday for women. But is she fulfilling the mandate of God? Yes. Is she in purpose? Of course. Is she loud? No. But is she getting something done? Yes. You don't have to be loud. So the thing is, people feel like God is interested. Yes, God is interested in the African continent, because if you see how the world is now, the world is literally looking at the African continent as a reserve. All right? As a reserve. And we have the largest continental free trade area. That in itself is something. We have the largest growing young population. That is something.
Yeah.
So Africa in itself is divinely positioned. And yes, change makers will arise. Solutions will be created. Interventions will be delivered. And God will use people. Guess what? I'm sorry to say, you don't even have to be a speaking in tongue kind of boy. The same God who can bring forth his agenda on the earth through a random person who even has no NGO. It's no NGO or a movement. Is the same God who can do a million things with someone who has an NGO. The only instruction is obey me. If you love me, obey me.
That's all.
And he has called us salt and light. So that's the metrics I used to judge every believer.
Yeah.
You know, salt changes the taste of everything. Light shoots darkness. That's our assignment. So we're not supposed to be concerned about where I stand. All right? Where I stand, I mean my status. Am I Christian? Am I no? Am I deep? Am I?
You believe in God? Do you believe in God? Do you have faith in Christ?
You know, the instruction Mary gave at the wedding of Cana is, whatever he tells you to do, do it. That's what I live by. And I believe that every believer in Christ should live by that. So if it's you wake up one morning and Jesus tells you, go on Twitter and talk about XYZ, believe it or not, you're creating change. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna answer your question.
There's something coming to my mind, and I think we're talking about this earlier, where I said that businesses, Christians that own businesses should all be in social impact. Like, I feel like social entrepreneurship is a major thing in what's hard. Like, why are you earning and your community is not benefiting from it? There's a gap there. Like, are you saying that all the funds, all of it is going to your employers, generally I'm trying to say, like your leaders, but then none is sipping into the community. None is sipping into, where you live. And one of the things we usually do is look at like Nehemiah's life. Nehemiah is my best social impact guy, right? I mean, this was like a long time ago when the Holy Spirit said to me, read Nehemiah. As in, I'm at that point where in my life where I'm like, you know what, God, what do you want them to read Nehemiah? It's just like, I have read Nehemiah, the book of Nehemiah in the Bible, over and over and over and over again. That's always two wins. That makes sense to even again. All right. So I have read that book over again, and I continue to see like a different strategy where it's like you come from another. I mean, you could have decided that I'm not going to be in Israel. I'm not going to live where everybody else, my people are, because I mean, I work with the king. I'm fine. I have money. I mean, you know how people travel abroad and they forget they have a whole Nigeria around Africa. So it's like, I've traveled, I've relocated, everything is going good for me now. I don't have to think back. But then God literally tells him that, I mean, he puts this burden in his heart, he cries, and he asks God questions, and then he gets favor from the king, and it comes back. But one strategy that I saw there, every single person that he partnered with or he spoke to, leaders, they had their own businesses going. There was farming in the land. A lot of things were happening, but people were living there. Right, Jerusalem, right? And they were living there. And I remember clearly that all Nehemiah had to do was tell them the vision. And all they needed to do was clean the front of their house, rebuild the wall. Talk to Jerusalem, yeah. Rebuild the wall in your front. That's all your job. So if every house rebuilds the wall in their front, the nation will be sorted. You don't even need to do as much. All you need to do is rebuild the one in your front. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's the. So do you think that? I mean, this is going to be the last major question. Do you think that that's a model that we can follow as Christians? Do you see? Do you feel like businesses should think impact? They should not just think profit in silos. Yeah. They should not just think like this is for profit. There should also be that side where that focuses on non-profit, like, we're giving back to society, right? So do you feel like every business should be a social enterprise?
Well, I am not going to speak about ecosystem builder.
Okay.
But when you were speaking, a scripture came to mind. We're all partakers of a commonwealth. And I like to see this commonwealth as a new inclusive economy model. And this new inclusive economy model is the social and solidarity economy. This model has been in times past. Nehemiah tapped into this model. Esther tapped into this model. When she used the maidens, when she prayed alongside her maidens to save the Jews from extermination. This model has long been. Even from the time of the Israelites, it has long been. What is this new model that we need to tap into as change makers so that we don't think of social impact as another strategy or as another CSR, but as something part, as something that is part of us? I mentioned the social and solidarity economy. What this means is a framework of enterprises that do good, period. So now this framework of enterprises could be cooperative societies, it could be associations, it could be social enterprises, non-profit organizations, NGOs, foundations, family offices, philanthropic institutions, community-based organizations. But you see, they will be known by these 5 economic activities. And I want every change maker to listen to this. 1, your primacy of economy, social and environmental purpose over profits. So if you are a business owner, is this at the center of the work that you do? Environmental, social, and economic purpose? Or is it just let's have an ESG framework, or let's disclose our ESG metrics for investors and not doing the actual work? The second economic activity is autonomy and independence. Structure. That's where structure comes in. The third is voluntary membership, building together. Solidarity. The fourth is little to no distribution of surplus. Now there is profit from this business. What are we investing this profit into? So it has to be reinvested back into the work that we're doing, into the communities that we're serving. And the last is democratic governance. So when you, as a change maker, if you have those 5 of these features, it means that you are a partaker of the new inclusive model. So it would never be about, do I need to have a social impact strategy? It will be more of, I am a part of this commonwealth. And so I have
A responsibility.
a responsibility. And just like I mentioned, those 5 characteristics. So that alone already solves the question of me being a chain maker or me having a business. Do I need to have like a social impact strategy? Or no, it already solves that. You're already a partaker of a commonwealth. And biblically, social and solidarity economy has been.
Yes.
So it is never about whether you've got to have a social impact strategy or not. No, you're part of a big cake.
Yeah.
Yours is your responsibility towards it.
That's it. That is so good. That is so good. All right. So, thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine.
Hope you enjoyed watching this episode as much as we enjoyed filming it. My name is Vera Alex. Make sure that you subscribe, like, so that more people get the information that we got. I got a lot of nuggets from this wonderful woman. Nuggets, tons of them. So subscribe, like, ask questions in the comment section. Give your feedback. We would love to hear your feedback. And some of this feedback, we'll get them on the show. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. And until then, Jesus adores you. Bye-bye. VACC Coaching Getaway is here again. Do you have a vision of bringing change to your community? Do you want to achieve more with less stress, thereby reducing perceived procrastination? Do you want to heal from childhood or adulthood trauma? Have you been looking for a faith-based community of people healing, growing together, building wealth together, and impacting society together? VACC Community offers simple strategies to overcoming procrastination and doing more in less time with less stress, growing in your walk with Christ, multiplying your money to make more impact, healing from childhood and adulthood trauma, impacting your community with your story or your skill, and enjoying a fantastic coaching getaway at least once a year. If this interests you and you would love to join us, click the link below to be a part of us.